Okay, we're going to be taking a look at how to interpret data for box and whisker plots. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the 5-number summary. So you might be looking for the 5-number summary, and that's pretty simple to find. All we need to do is find the 5 numbers that are represented on our box and whisker plot by the whiskers or the vertical lines in the boxes. So here we have 83, 86, 89, 91, and 96, and it's just that simple. That is our 5-number summary, and you just list those in order from least to greatest, just like so. Okay, the next section that we are going to talk about, we're going to use the same box and whisker plot, but for this we are going to find the quartiles. So let's talk about the word quartiles. If you think of the word quart, that means 4. So let me just section this box and whisker plot into the 4 sections so that you can see how this is really just represented by. Okay, so we've got our 4 sections here. So now let's talk about what a quartile is. A quartile, it's important to know that it is not this section, this whole entire section that you see here. The quartile is not from the smallest to the largest value within this section. What the quartile is this very last number that is represented with this data point. So this number 86 would actually be our first quartile. So it's just one number that represents the quartiles, and that's a very common misconception that people have. So then the second quartile would be 89. So we can write that as Q2. We usually don't call it second quartile though. It's really the median because that is the very middle point in our data set. And then our Q3 is our third quartile. So again, that is the number that is represented at the end of that third section. So that would be 91 for this third quartile. So again, I just want to reiterate that it's only one number that represents the quartiles, and it is not the span of numbers in between, like the lowest and the highest. That is something that trips people up a lot. Okay, so let's go on to our next section. And for this part, we are going to be finding the IQR, or the interquartile range. So we just talked about quartiles and what those mean. And when we talk about inter, that really just means inside. So inter, I'm going to write that in here, inside. And then the quartile, as we talked about before, are the 4 sections of our data. So let's just section these off again just to get a visual. We've got our 4 sections, and we know that the interquartiles are the boxes, the inside of the 4 sections that we have represented here. So we're just looking at the box for this particular data set. So we've got 91 and 86. 91, remember, is our third quartile, and 86 is our first quartile, so we simply need to subtract those. It's just the difference between quartile 3 and quartile 1. So 5 is going to be our IQR. When we subtract those, we get 5. All right, and then for our last little section here, we are going to look at the spread of the data and what that means. So when you hear spread of the data, really what you're thinking of is range, and this is the range of all of our data sets. So when we are finding range, we need the highest number and the lowest number, and we are going to subtract them. So we just take 96 and subtract 83, and we get 13, and that is the spread of our data. So I hope this helps. Please check out some of my